Bill Cosby, in his American Negro frame of mind, has done a lot for the image of black people. He has. Positive.
And he was young, and he was conscious about black people.
I remember waking up in a bed with Mr. Cosby naked beneath his open robe. He drugged and raped me.
Now, if he had enough money to buy NBC, why in the hell would he have to drug a woman?
I have to ask about your name coming up in the news recently regarding this comedian.
No, we don't answer that.
Okay. I just wanted to ask if you wanted to respond at all about whether any of that was true.
There's no response.
What has happened is a legacy has been attacked. A legacy is being erased.
You know what's crazy for me, though? It's whether the allegations are true or not, is the fact the venom that the public has when they go on social media. It's as if you are guilty until proven innocent. And, you know, if these are true, I hope these women have their day in court, and I hope that he gets the punishment necessary. But if it's not true, a lot of people have rushed to judgment, and so I just think that we should allow the process of law to follow.
A tragedy or a tragedy.
If he's guilty, prove it in a court of law. That's what the so-called Constitution says. Go to court, prove it. And if he's guilty, everybody's going to be against him. But you have not done that. They're trying to make him guilty through the internet and through the media. That's not a court of law.
That's the reason why we always have to seem to always start over with every generation, because they always cut that off. These bastards are doing the same thing with Bill Cosby.
Now, if you tell the history of slavery right, you got a big problem on your hands. The slave trader didn't take some savage out of Africa. He took a human being, sold him like an animal, and separated him from his family. America invented the cruelest slavery in the history of the world because it broke up black families. After slavery was over, America kept breaking up the black man's family. And that's some awful history to teach. Now, if you want to look history right straight in the eye, you're going to get a black eye.
We're going to talk about the danger behind idolatry, But before we get there, Phylicia Rashad. Okay, I want to start there. Now, you've all been watching the news, and they have said time and time that Bill Cosby has drugged and raped over 20 women. I don't know about y'all, but I found it very amazing and shocking, especially when I saw the caliber of women. What the hell is this? They couldn't hold a candle to his wife, Camille. I also sit back. Now, I take things with a grain of salt. That's what you all got to learn to do. Yes, there's an expression where there's smoke, there's fire, yes. But if he is guilty, it should be handled where? In a court of law. It couldn't get to the court of law, none of those cases, because there was insubstantial evidence, which tells me that there's something fraudulent behind it all. Now, some people may be mad at me, but I could really care less. And I was very proud when the sister, Phylicia Rashad, and she's one of the most articulate women you will ever hear speak. I want to show the clip with her where they tried, and of course the reporter they get is the black woman, so that they make it seem like it's not racial. Bill Cosby, in his American Negro frame of mind, has done a lot for the image of black people. He has positive black images. He is one of the few actors out there who have done the work to make the role of the black man and black woman uplifted in society. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, also, as we speak about Bill Cosby, there was a video that we had done almost a year ago entitled, what was it, with the school kids, No, Joining Israel, thank you, Joining Israel. And we used a clip from a documentary that he put together. And that was a very good, and he was young, and he was conscious about black people. Okay, so as far as I'm concerned, the minute all that foolish scandal garbage came out, I said these chicken-head women are just trying to do the work of the devil to destroy the black man. That's all it is. That's how I saw it. But I had to keep my peace. But that's what I saw.
Exactly. I'm glad you mentioned that documentary that he did. He also, I don't know how many of y'all saw the Cosby Show. Nobody saw the Cosby Show? Oh, I thought I was the only one in here that saw that thing. I don't know, but I used to run home to go look at that show because I never saw a black family who had money. One was a doctor, one was a lawyer. So I was amazed at this thing, and that really shifted the mindset of a lot of young people. So wow, we could do that, Mom, Dad. We would sit down as a family and watch that. I don't know about y'all.
Actually, when he began the show, he actually did it because he knew that the images of black people was below the ground. So he had a lot to do with the production of that program to offset the negative imagery that was going on among black people. That's the reason why he had them affluent as far as their professions and so forth, all the kids and all that. Even though they had regular situation that was going on the show, it still gave a positive outlook as far as the world goes, as how black people would deal. So he was conscious enough to go against all odds to put that out there.
Right.
And that was at the same time when he was trying to purchase NBC, and they told him no.
Right, y'all forgot about that. He had enough money to buy the NBC network. He wanted black reporters, black news. They said no. The white man told him no. They said, we don't need a spin on the news. I was little when I saw this thing going down. So if he had enough money to buy NBC, why in the hell would he have to drug a woman? Did Biggie Smalls have to drug somebody? You got I heard a dude say he had enough money. He could have said, listen, woman, I'm going to give you 20 grand to do this to me. Sister over there, I'm going to give you another 20 grand to do this to me. He had the money. And there's women out there that would have ran and did whatever if he had done that. He ain't got to slip a drug in somebody's drink because he can't get a woman. What the hell is this? Made no damn sense. I'm sitting there thinking, this don't make sense. Anyway, also, right, that's it. Bill Cosby once tried to buy NBC and people didn't like it. Right, people was angry. All these black leaders out here, none of them had the mindset that he had to uplift our people. The white man was mad because Bill Cosby wanted to buy it. Who in the hell does this Negro think he is? He's also one of the few who always gets on a black man and black woman about reading. Pull up your pants, stop selling. You really don't hear black people out there in the media speaking like that. That's why a lot of black people, that's why, don't sleep. There might be some coon behind all this who's angry because he was always getting on black people, the young black youth, about reading, writing, about women not whoring around, sleeping around. He's the only one that was out there speaking against that stuff. So there's a lot of anger.
Right. And he had access to universities and all of that.
Right.
So they didn't like that.
So now let's watch Phylicia Rashad as they try to trap her up in her words against Mr. Bill Cosby.
News exclusive. She played Bill Cosby's wife on TV for 8 years, and now, as her former co-star is swarmed with allegations of sex abuse, Phylicia Rashad is airing her views, many of them controversial, to ABC's Lindsay Davis.
What has happened is a legacy has been attacked. A legacy is being erased.
For 8 years, Phylicia Rashad played Bill Cosby's wife, and tonight she's standing by him once again, this time amidst a wave of allegations.
People have been waiting to hear from you.
Have they?
Coming to the embattled comedian's defense as more than a dozen women make accusations against the famed comedian, claims in some cases that he drugged them, even sexually abused them.
What do you say then to the women who have painstakingly told these stories of abuse? They were raped, they were sexually assaulted, that they were drugged.
What can I say to these women whom I don't know? What can I say to things that you are hearing when I'm telling you what I've seen? I'm telling you what I've experienced. What can I say?
What about then, when you first heard any inkling that women were saying they had been drugged or raped?
I had never heard that before. So this was the first time I was hearing anything like that. And I can't even speak to those things and don't want to.
And now Rashad has found herself in the center of her own controversy, all because of this online report.
You were quoted online as saying, forget those women.
And that was a misquote. And that is not what I said. What I said is, this is not about the women. This is about something else. This is about the obliteration of legacy. That's what I said.
Some people might think that it was dismissive, that it came across.
I am a woman. I would never say such a thing. I would never think such a thing. I did not say that.
Our calls to Roger Friedman at Showbiz Online were not returned. After a portion of our interview aired earlier tonight, the reporter posted on his site, in part, "I did not misquote Phylicia Rashad, but she didn't mean for it to be taken the way it was, and I should have punctuated." Today, 3 new accusers came forward, and their attorney, Gloria Allred, lashing out at Rashad.
Phylicia, I vow to you that I will not forget these women.
I remember waking up in a bed with Mr. Cosby naked beneath his open robe.
He drugged and raped me. Cosby's lawyer released a statement early on saying the fact that they're being repeated does not make them true, adding that they've escalated far past the point of absurdity. Even tonight, as Bill Cosby performed in front of a packed Ontario audience with a handful of protesters outside, Rashad believes that the allegations are all an orchestrated attack.
I do want to get your initial reaction to the allegations.
Well, my initial reaction to the allegations was, someone has a vested interest in preventing Mr. Cosby's return to network television.
Was there any dialogue ever that you would come out in support of him, or was it something he asked you to do?
Oh, no. I did talk to him towards the beginning of all of this. And his comment then was, the internet has given some anonymous people a very loud voice.
It's all about tarnishing Cosby's legacy, she says. The show, which debuted in the 80s, was one of the first media images that portrayed African-American families as educated, ambitious, and driven.
And this is my office.
What do you do?
I'm a doctor for women.
We're talking about a legacy that inspired a generation of young people to consider and pursue higher education. We're talking about a legacy that introduced and portrayed American culture in its diversity. It's difficult for me to watch this legacy be erased as if it never happened. There is the Constitution of the United States, which ensures innocence until the proof of guilt, and that has not happened.
The Tony Award-winning actress played...
Anything inappropriate?
What I saw was fun. Never anything inappropriate. What I saw was work. Mrs. Cosby was a frequent visitor to the studio. That's what I saw.
Insisting that the man she knew...
He's a genius. He is generous. He's kind. He's inclusive.
Is the man that America fell in love with night after night, right here on their television screen.
But you saw the shows. And that was what it was.
To critics who might say, well, of course, Phylicia Rashad is going to come out in support of Bill Cosby. She has a lot to gain and benefit
Oh, really?
If the show continues to air.
Then they don't understand how residuals go. The longer the show runs, the smaller the residual.
Have you talked to Mr. Cosby recently?
No, I haven't spoken to him recently.
So you can't even say if he's doing well or how he's holding up in the midst of the allegations?
Speaking to the character of the man that I know, this has not been easy at all. But he's not a coward. You know, he's not.
Keisha Knight Pulliam, who played Little Rudy, also spoke out to Wendy Williams in defense of Cosby.
I don't know what happened.
Everything on the set seemed
copacetic? I don't have that story to tell of him. Okay. The man I know and love, is who I just described.
Supermodel Beverly Johnson says it was his legacy that made it so difficult for her to come forward with her own accusations.
This was the most difficult decision that I've ever made. I am calling out a black man, a revered black man, but this is the right thing to do.
But for years, she says she held a dark secret, damning accusations that Cosby drugged her.
And from the first sip and then the second sip, I knew I had been drugged.
Rashad wouldn't comment specifically on Johnson's case or any specific allegations.
That's your conversation with her. I don't know anything about that.
But she does say she knows Bill Cosby.
Is there any way for him to rebound from this?
Well, I don't have all answers. I don't know. But I think in the hearts and minds of many people, he is held in high regard.
And you still hold him in very high regard?
Absolutely, I do. Yes, I do.
For Nightline, I'm Lindsay Davis in New York.
Well, all righty then. So now, y'all may have mixed emotions in here. I don't know about that side of the room. And they always do this try to pit the female against the male. It's the same thing during the 60s and 70s with that feminist movement, how they separated the black female from the black male. I'm so glad for that sister Phylicia Rashad standing up on his behalf. Because guess what? The same thing that happened to Cosby brothers, false accusation, I'm going to say it could happen to anybody up in here. Give me Wilhelmina. Yeah. Go ahead.
Right before you played the clip, I was raising my hands. I wanted to say that what they're attacking is like she said in the thing. It's his legacy.
Right.
Why? Because the younger generation, they don't know who Bill Cosby is. They don't know about the work he's done.
Right.
So if they know him as a supposed rapist, then they won't look into what he's done or pay mind to it.
Exactly.
And that's why she said they're trying to erase it as if it never happened.
Right. Exactly.
The white man's the devil. and the reason why I say that, yes, that's true. That is true. But the reason why I say this is because the same vicious demonic tactic that he's doing to Bill Cosby is this white man did to Bill Cosby, this Edomite, is the same thing that he's done to black people, period. Right. And what I mean by that is that every generation there is some greatness among us. But we are not allowed, if you will, to carry that legacy on to our generations behind us. That's the reason why we always have to seem to always start over with every generation, because they always cut that off. These bastards are doing the same thing with Bill Cosby. And for the reason that you just mentioned, so that the young people won't know anything about the legacy that he did. This is their same, they don't change in how they operate. They have done the same thing since we came over here on the ships. All the greatness that was with us, they made sure that it wasn't passed down, and they'll do anything to cut that off.
Right. And they hired, they got a few black comedians like Cheryl Underwood, and there's a brother making jokes about him to help in its destruction. I want you to see this article that came out. Now, it says, Wilhelmina model paid to destroy Bill Cosby comes forward. FYM exposes the truth, over 3 million views. Now, this is a model from the Wilhelmina modeling agency. She said she was paid, that's Bill Cosby's wife on his left. Our right, his left. That's Camille, that's his wife. Anyway, this model, and what happened, she kept it, she wanted her name kept anonymous, because she knows, just like, watch what happens with Phylicia Rashad. The so-called powers that be, you know what I mean by that, the white man, will systematically destroy their careers. You don't agree with us, we're going to destroy you, and they're going to hit you in your pocket, destroy your money. That's how they get down. That's why a lot of black people are not coming forward to speak up on this. I'm talking about actors. Let's go up. All right, before we start down this road, this is what happened in 2004. A woman claims she was assaulted in 2004 by Bill Cosby. The prosecutor said she didn't report it for over a year. No evidence. She never said she was raped. The rest happened over 30 years ago. The following information has been fact-checked and verified and provides evidence that Mr. Bill Cosby is being set up. The casting agent that Contact Choice provided the model with 2 addresses, one to the casting appointment at the Ritz-Carlton and a second address to Cosby's location. Go up. This is what she says. I wasn't going to send this email to FYM, but the feeding frenzy on Bill Cosby's character made my response necessary. In 1982, I had a photographer named Choice. Choice was contacted by a casting agent. I was told to meet the client at the Ritz-Carlton for lunch in New York in the summer of '82. This client wanted to talk to me about a film project. I arrived at the Ritz-Carlton at 11:30 a.m. 2 male clients arrived, a Caucasian male, late 30s, and an Asian male, early 50s. They indicated that I'd be perfect for a film project. I was told the project paid $5,000 cash. I thought that was strange. Who pays $5,000 cash for a modeling job? The job was to meet Bill Cosby and to try to seduce him. It would be a part of the script. I was confused by this job request. They told me I would be recording the session to see. Remember what happened with, I'm just digressing a second, just popped in my head. Remember Al Sharpton, where they tried to get him up on drug charges? I don't know how many of y'all remember that. And he ran the hell out the room because it was a buy and bust deal. And when he realized they was trying to get him to sell a cocaine, he ran the hell out of it. It was all on the news. So this ain't the first time they do this. I want y'all to just keep your mind aware of that. Where am I at? They told me I would be recording this session to see if I was successful and believable. My response to them, I would like to meet Mr. Cosby first and discuss the script. They said no. It wasn't necessary to meet him. They said it was a spontaneous casting call. I have never in my life heard of a spontaneous casting call. As a legitimate model, this seems strange and unethical. I immediately turned down the job. The Asian man continued speaking and offered me $10,000 cash up front and $5,000 upon delivery of some seductive photos and some of his sperm. Sperm? I was in shock when they said sperm. I then realized that these 2 men had unethical intentions. I excused myself, went to the bathroom, and then I left the hotel and went home. Now, as a model in New York, I've been offered drugs, trips around the world, films, videos, money from, and I'm glad she got that in there. Beverly Johnson. In the model world, they go to places like the Playboy Mansion with Hugh Hefner. What's in there? Sex, drugs, money, alcohol, all that's there. A lot of actors go there. One of the accusers, a 15-year-old girl, said, Miss, I was 15 and I was at the Playboy Bunny Mansion and Mr. Cosby drugged me. And they was all yelling at Cosby. I'm like, wait a minute. She's 15 years old. Why was she at the Playboy Mansion? Nobody saw nothing out with that but accused Cosby. This is some madness.
The reason why people won't be surprised because I just got to speak straight. Because the majority of the people in the world today's intelligence is averaged on stupid. That's the problem. They can say a whole lot of things that we won't pick up nothing because they know what, like we talked about with that video that when they put certain things in film and all of that, they know what we will catch and they know what we won't catch. They say you ain't got to worry about them because I know my niggas. They're not gonna pick up on this. That's the way they see us. That's the reason why they could put something as obvious as a 15-year-old girl being in a doggone place where it's nothing but illicit sex going on all over the place, and the public to sit there and look at it, and they be talking about what she talking about with Bill Cosby. They didn't even pick up the fact that her behind don't even belong in there.
Right, exactly. Now, y'all saw Keisha Knight Pulliam. She was on Donald Trump's show, The Apprentice. She got kicked off of the show because she wouldn't ask Cosby certain things, like money and all of that. kicked. That's what they do. You don't roll with us, the white society, they will shut you down. That's why a lot of black people don't stand up and say nothing.
Now, in addition to that, I was listening to when Phylicia Rashad was speaking, and the interviewer said, well, you have some troubles of your own. Because basically what they're trying to, what is that is a reminder of saying, listen, if you don't agree with trying to destroy this man, you're going to end up with some problems yourself. Because we're going to create some problems. That's
what
how they deal.
Keep thinking this man is your friend. Keep thinking. Where am I at now?
Oh, I'm sorry. One other thing. They first gave her $5,000. The model, this particular article here, and that wasn't enough. So they came back with $10,000 in addition to the $5,000. So when she heard of the $5,000, she said, "This is strange. You know, this is just a regular. I'm a legitimate model, such and such. They don't give you this much money for this here, so there must be something behind it."
Right.
So the fact that this man will give you even more money. A lot of people be like, well, damn, man, $10,000. But you have no idea how much money he's going to save by destroying an iconic image such as Bill Cosby. So $10,000 to them is nothing.
Right.
Compared to the millions of minds that could be influenced positively by this man's legacy had it not been tarnished.
Right. And again, just like she said, if he's guilty, prove it in a court of law. That's what the so-called Constitution says. Go to court, prove it. And if he's guilty, everybody's going to be against him. But you have not done that. They're trying to make him guilty through the internet and through the media. That's not a court of law. Come on, where am I at? As a naive model, you're offered many compromising projects. But this blew my mind. I was offered $15,000 to seduce and destroy Bill Cosby. Why else would they need suggestive photos and sperm? I also realized that America has a history of oppressing, killing, and destroying successful and poor people of color. Now, I'm glad that's an article.
Gotta say amen to that. That's a sister that said that thing.
Got a history of doing it. A history. Y'all thinking this is some new stuff going on here. I wasn't going to send this letter to FYM, but the media lynching of one of our global icons, Bill Cosby, is simply unacceptable. Also, after watching Nightline, Associated Press, CNN, CBS, NPR, Fox, and many other news outlets, right. I want y'all to see that all those networks are together. They all put that stuff out. Nobody having the knowledge or wisdom to say, you know what, this has not been proven in the court of law. Let's not put it out. He should sue everybody.
What was that guy say? He said that concerning Phylicia's statement about what he said about the girls, forget them or something like that. He went and published it, put it out there.
Right.
And then he said, oh, well, I just made a mistake.
Right. I should have put it in quotes.
I should have put it right there, that kind of thing.
She didn't say the way I put it out there. That's what the article writer said. Okay. I'm shocked by the lack of integrity. That's the word. She said, I'm shocked by the lack of integrity of our major news media. Don't be shocked, y'all. White media is our enemy. Why would CNN, ABC, CBS, AP, and the like lie about 30-year-old untrue news, meaning it has never been proven in a court of law? He never went to jail. He was never arrested behind any of these things. Nightline simply cut, deleted, and distorted the Cosby interview, making him appear guilty. What has happened to the integrity of our nation? See, that's the problem. Our nation. This ain't our nation. That's the problem. That's why black people get confused. We're going to make sure we get that in Isaiah 30 about the confusion. I was offered $15,000 cash to discredit and ruin Bill Cosby's good name. I'm 100% convinced that all the women coming forward have been paid off to discredit Bill Cosby as well. Why? He is simply too powerful. His intentions is to empower people of color, and his net worth would anger any weak man. I think most people are good people. My intentions aren't to insult white people, but the facts are the facts.
Well, they need to be insulted.
They got to be insulted. It's a fact that 9/10, is that how you say it? 9/10 of the global population are people of color, and only 1/10 of the global population are whites. As in Ferguson, 21,000 people of color are controlled and abused by 60 white city officials. Now, that's a heavy statement right there. Reminds me of a plantation. Dang! That's some heavy stuff there.
She ain't gonna have no contract on nothing after this.
That's why she kept her name out of it. The world doesn't want powerful people like Bill Cosby to empower people of color and teach them that we have always had the power in numbers and economically. Okay, we'll stop there. Go ahead.
Now, this article, how come CNN, CBS, NPR, NBC, all of them, how come they didn't run this? They didn't talk about this at all. This is probably just one media outlet, probably a newspaper article somewhere, and that's about it.
Or internet newspaper.
Internet newspaper. Mm-hmm. But it's not all over CBS. It's not all over. It's not all over NBC. It's not all over any of those major outlets that people sit there and watch.
Exactly. Go to Isaiah 30.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 30, verse 1.
Now, Isaiah is prophesying about the Israelites trying to make a, what is the word? A union? A covenant with Egypt. When Babylon came into power, certain Israelites wanted to make a covenant with Egypt. Okay? So that's the history behind it. Start at verse 1.
Woe to the rebellious children.
And in case you didn't know, the rebellious children is us, the Israelites, the 12 tribes. We're the rebellious people. Go ahead.
Saith the Lord, that take counsel, but not of me.
Meaning we look for answers, but never in the Holy Bible. We want to hear what Oprah has to say. We want to hear what Obama has to say. We want to hear what Bill Clinton has to say. What Bubba got to say. That's what they be calling him, Bubba. But never what the Lord God Almighty has to say. Go ahead.
And that cover with the covering, but not of my spirit.
Meaning we cover ourselves under democracy. We cover ourselves under Christianity. But we never cover ourselves with thus saith the Lord. Some of y'all might think that's odd. I just said Christianity. Modern day Christianity is not Bible based. Modern day Christianity is based upon ancient Babylonian text. Listen good what I'm saying. I'll give you an example. The birth of Messiah, December the 25th, is not based upon the Bible. That's based on ancient Babylon with Nimrod and Semiramis and his son Tammuz. Do your research. Look it up. That's when you ask a Christian, prove Jesus Christ was born December 25th in the winter. You hear crickets. They don't got an answer because they have never researched that garbage religion they're in.
I'm going to just use what the elder said to illustrate perfectly what I said earlier about people being perfectly stupid in this age. You can walk inside one of these sick whorehouses called churches with a Bible and say, Pastor, show me Christmas, show me that Jesus was born on December 25th. And then you grab the mic and then you tell everybody in the church will hear you reading out of the Bible that Christ was born on the Passover, and they will all leave.
I'm going to tell you what happened. That happened, who was with me? It was me, Carmelia, who y'all call Killer Priest. There was a few of them, like 5 of us. We used to go in the early, when we first came into the truth, we would go into the churches. We would listen to the message, and we'd be on Bible study night. We listen to the teacher, and we would ask questions like about Christmas. They didn't leave y'all up, they threw us out. They said, if you don't get out, we calling the cops to arrest you niggas. That's how your Christians get down. They don't want the truth. Where you at, Officer Leon?
Verse 1. That cover with the covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin.
Right. We don't cover with God's spirit. We cover with the lies we learn out here in America, based upon Babylonian texts. Again, you go to these churches, you ever hear these things called Father's Day, Mother's Day, Woman's Day, and you ask, where is that in the Bible? Where can I read that? You hear crickets. You hear Gone with the Wind. And they will curse you till you die. I'm telling you, read on.
Satan has a question.
Yeah, Satan got a question. Go ahead.
That walk to go down into Egypt.
So now, like in the past, we had literally walked to go down into Egypt. Go ahead.
And have not asked at my mouth.
Because our people that went down into ancient Egypt at that time did not ask at the Lord God Almighty's mouth. Go ahead.
To strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh and to trust in the shadow of Egypt.
So I want y'all to see that next part, and to trust in the shadow of Egypt. Let you know this is a twofold scripture from back then all the way up to today, because America is a shadow of Egypt. Put that up on the board, Abiel. The dollar bill, because I know we got some new people in here. Because you may be asking, sisters sitting there and say, what do you mean this is the shadow of Egypt? America is in the shadow of ancient Egypt. Just as in ancient Egypt, the 12 tribes of Israel is in captivity, likewise today, the 12 tribes of Israel are in captivity. Oh, you thought the all-seeing eye in the pyramid was a coincidence on the back of the dollar bill? No, it was by design. The Masons that designed this, they know that this place is a spiritual Egypt. Right, the obelisk that you got in Central Park, the obelisk that you got at the Washington Monument, are real obelisk. So the scholars know what's going on. It's just Christians, we don't know what's going on. Our people don't know. We're lost in the source. Right, the Washington Monument, thank you. Officer Leon, where you at?
Verse 3.
Verse 3.
Therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be ashamed.
Just like we were ashamed in the past. When we made a covenant with ancient Egypt, Most High had Babylon destroy us, bring us into slavery, hard bondage. So now, today, we have made a covenant with America, spiritual Egypt. Read that again.
Therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be ashamed.
We are always ashamed when we're here in this country, because things never work out the way we have planned them, go ahead, or envisioned them. Go ahead.
In the trust in the shadow of Egypt, your confusion.
See that? And the trust in the shadow of Egypt, your what, brothers?
Your confusion.
Your confusion. That's why we are always, I don't understand. I'm confused. What about the court system? How come no indictments? Why? It's our confusion. Our confusion.
Let me give you a bit of hypocritical history. They want to talk about making up lies on the brother Bill Cosby, right? Tell me he raped and did all of this. Let me show you the hypocrisy of this country that you love so much. They honor Columbus Day, do they not? That vicious beast, that genocidal maniac demon, Christopher Columbus and his horde of convicts, raped, robbed, and murdered all across this country. And what did these bastards do? Set up a holiday in honor of him and got dumb niggas on the damn float partying with him. That's showing you. I'm sorry that I have to say it that way, but sometimes you need those kinds of words to hit you upside your head for being so damn stupid. Because it don't make any sense for people to be this doggone dumb.
Right, read on.
That was verse 3.
Go ahead, read on.
For his princes were at Zoan.
Now that goes back to the past. Go ahead.
And his ambassadors came to Hannes.
Hannes, right. These are capitals in Egypt. Now watch verse 5.
They are all ashamed.
Now when we read verse 5, I want you to bring it to today, because that's what it's going into as well. Go ahead.
They were all ashamed of a people that could not profit them.
We are always ashamed because we thought the white man is always for our profit. It says, no, you're going to be ashamed because they're not for your profit. Read it again, read it again.
They were all ashamed of a people that could not profit them.
And that's why black people are scared to speak up for justice when it comes to Cosby. They know right from wrong. You mean y'all don't know right from wrong? You're accused guilty on the internet and on social media. This is insane. Just like they did to him, believe it. If they could do it to him and he's a multimillionaire, you don't think they could do it to us? That is the message. Stay in your place. That is the message. Don't get uppity. Read it again.
They were all ashamed of a people that could not profit them, nor being helped nor profit, but ashamed and also a reproach.
That verse 5 is heavy. I know it might scare some of y'all, but that verse 5 is our reality today. Read it again. I just wanted to marinate.
They were all ashamed of a people that could not profit them.
You like to say this ain't about black and white. This is about Jacob and Esau. This is about people upon the earth. That's why it says they were ashamed of a people. You like to think, oh, some mysterious angel is out there doing things. Go accuse Bill Cosby. Boo. Yeah, you keep fooling yourself with that. There's a room of conspirators, we use that word, conspirators that sit down and say, listen, this dude keep trying to buy NBC. We need to shut him down. He's trying to give black people a leg to stand on. He's trying to tell them to stop being in gangs. Don't they know that we serve God, gold, oil, and drugs? That's our God, gold, oil, and drugs. They don't know that? Shut Bill Cosby down and don't let these Israelites ever get on the news media in a positive way. That's what they do. That's their talk.
About image.
Right.
It's about destroying imagery. That's why I always talk about imagery, how important imagery is. Because that's what once they destroy your image, you're gonna just fall in and believe that. The perception becomes a reality, that kind of thing. Right. That's what happens.
They say, what's that thing they say? If you say something long enough, the people will believe it. But Cosby's lawyer said, just because they keep saying it doesn't make it true.
Exactly.
You know? Exactly. Read verse 5 one more again.
They were all ashamed of a people that could not profit them, nor being help nor profit, but a shame and also a reproach.
Shalom, Israel. I'm Elder Nathaniel of Israel United in Christ. YouTube likes to shut our channels down, as some of you have noticed, ever so often. Subscribing to join IUIC will assure you will always stay connected to our YouTube accounts. We want to do our best to make sure this truth gets out. Please click and join our subscriber YouTube channel called Join IUIC to stay linked to all of our videos. So again, please make sure you subscribe to this Join IUIC channel to get your latest updates from all our YouTube channels. Shalom.